Once again, Ready Set RC here to show you guys a new car to our channel. Definitely not new to everybody else. I think this car came out sometime around the summertime this year. This would be 2016. But I wanted to show you guys a new vehicle that we got in. Kind of give you guys, as we do, a little bit of comparisons to the other vehicles that are out there, the other monster trucks that you guys may have. And then afterwards, give you guys a good bashing video of what this thing can do. The Arrma Nero, diff brain, as we can see on the box here, four-wheel drive. The claim is 60 miles per hour, which I think is a lot for a vehicle of this size, running on 6S. Of course, you guys have seen some videos out there. Guys are running it on 4S. Guys are running on 6S. They're going crazy with their bash videos. But as I said, this is not an unboxing because there's a ton of unboxing videos out there on this truck. I kind of just wanted to give you guys an overview of what this looks like compared to some of the other vehicles that you guys may have owned, your friends may own, or you just seen in other videos, but you haven't seen a comparisons of those. So I was saying, wanted you guys to see what this vehicle looks like. Once again, as I said, it's not the first video out there, but I'm going to show you comparisons with a couple of my other trucks. Just wanted to give a quick shout out for this truck. I'm one of those Super Saver members from Tower Hobby, and I saw this on the scratch and dent, as they call it, part of their website. Said, you know what? I was looking at the Big Rock at one point. I said, I'll wait for the Big Rock to come out. You know, I've seen a lot of these. I want to see what the differences are. I really like the look of the Big Rock. The scale looks to it. I was waiting for the Big Rock to come out when I saw this one night, and for the price, just had to pull the trigger. As I said, got this from Tower Hobbies, part of the Super Saver members, which is one of those things that if you are a member, I think it's like 10 bucks or whatever, or $9 for the subscription for the year. And if you're one of the members, you get, you know, exclusive abilities to some of the vehicles that they release first, and you're able to purchase them. Well, this was one that it clearly said lightly used, you know, may have some scuffs or whatever. And I said, I'll take my chances. For the price, I said, I'll take my chances. And for YouTubers out there, I want to say it's well worth it. When I got this vehicle and I looked it over and I saw there's not one scratch on this, barely, and I say barely, any use on the tires, like they just took it for a run on some asphalt. Not one scratch, not a lick of dirt on this thing. Amazing. And for the price, because you guys know how much this truck is selling for right now. I think it's like $699 for this truck. Shipped to my door, 400 bucks. That's also using coupons or whatever is involved with Tower Hobbies, because they, you know, also when you're a Super Saver, they give you certain coupons monthly on their stuff if you buy things at a certain price range. 400 bucks. Had to get it. Compared to the other vehicles that I've seen out there that of this scale, this size, had to do it. If I want this to look like the Big Rock afterwards, I can change up all the parts. I can make it look like the Big Rock. But for 400 bucks, I thought it was something I had to do, especially when the Big Rock, I think, is going for $769, $799, somewhere around that range. And I said, that's a savings I need to grab right now. So definitely wanted to mention that really quick on how I got this truck. As I said, 8 scale. The big tires, the super stylish body. Not too much of a fan of it. You guys are going to see in the future videos. I am expecting a new body for this. I'm going to paint it up, get this going. As everyone knows, the wonderful looking chassis that's out there. And I'll try to get some close-ups of this so you guys get a better idea of what this looks like. But as you can see, the super sweet chassis on this thing. I mean, this thing's amazing. Amazing. Beautiful looking truck. Definitely one of the better looking 8-scale trucks out there. As you can see too, their tactic controller, not new to anybody. Definitely not new. The one thing that is exclusive or somewhat to this truck is the switch for the diff brain, changing it off. And as I said, it's definitely a part of technology that I would say that is not new, but definitely for a truck of this speed or capable of these speeds, definitely something that is revolutionary in RC. As I said, I'm not doing an unboxing. You guys definitely seen one. What I want to do right now is kind of just show you guys this truck against some of the other trucks that I have. We're all familiar with this truck and having the twin vertical plates, the lay down shocks similar to an E-Revo or Summit. We're familiar with the drive shafts, the size of the drive shafts, some of the breakage points, the XT90 connectors, all this stuff on here, everybody's familiar with. What I want to show you guys is what this truck looks like compared to other 8 scales that are out there. Now, as I said, I don't have every 8 scale out there, but I do have a few, and probably some that everybody else has. And if you're in the market of looking for a truck like this, it's definitely going to give you a comparison of the other trucks compared to this. Yeah, you look at other trucks and you're wondering, I wonder what that looks like compared to, this truck or that truck. Well, I have a few that you can kind of see what this looks like compared to the other 8 scale monster trucks that are out there. So let me bring those out for you guys. Now this is 8 scale monster trucks, guys. So I had to pan out a little bit. These things are huge. So once again, you have the Arrma Nero diff brain. As I said, the Nero and the diff brain and the Arrma Nero without the diff brain size comparisons are all the same. What's different is the lockable diffs and the interchangeable diffs functionality that you can do on the remote. That's the only difference between the Arrma Nero with diff brain versus without diff brain. Over here I have my Traxxas T-Max. I've converted this over to electric. Don't think I've shown this on my channel before, but I'll have a more in-depth video of what I did to this thing. This was one of my first monster trucks I ever had. I've been through a lot with this. It was once a nitro truck. I bashed the hell out of it, drove it all over the place, had fun with this truck. To be quite honest, never really had too many breakages with this vehicle. For the most part, had a lot of fun with this. Got to the point where I was looking to make that change from nitro to electric, and just got to the point where I said, you know what, let me go at it. Never really converted a vehicle over from nitro to electric, and decided to go ahead and do that with this truck. But I'll have a more in-depth video about the T-Max on my channel in the months to come. But I wanted to show you guys a fan favorite. Everybody has a T-Max out there. A lot of guys have either owned one or know somebody who owns one. And wanted to show you what the Arrma Nero actually looks like up against a T-Max. So as we can see here, the Nero, just trying to get a quick size comparison with the T-Max. I'll try to bring these up as best as possible. As I said, they're monster trucks and they're huge without being in the frame myself. Just so you guys get a good idea of what the two look like. Huge, big monster trucks. And you guys are familiar with the T-Max. T-Max is a pretty big truck, revolutionary at its time. Pretty big truck out there. What that T-Max looks like against that Arrma Nero. Nero is definitely a pretty big beast as an 8th scale. Now they truly say the T-Max is more like a 10th scale monster truck. I kind of like to put it in that 1/9 scale. So I would more so put the T-Max more in a 1/9 scale. Okay guys, another big monster truck I have in my collection, the Losi LST XXL2E. This is the electric version of the LST. beast of a truck, another truck that I run on 6S. One thing I forgot to say also on my T-Max, right now I'm running the T-Max on 4S. As I said, I'll have another video in regards to what that conversion and what I did to that truck and some of the electronics that are in it. But here I have, as again, another one of my monster trucks, 8 scale. As I said, the Losi LST XXL2 electric. One of the bigger trucks in my collection, I have to say, until I saw this up against it. Was very surprised that the Arrma Nero was just as big as my LST. Love the LST. LST is a wonderful truck, can take a beating. You'll see some videos that I have that I've ran this thing in. Definitely one of the better trucks out there. Those that are not familiar with some of Losi's products, I would have to say the LST is one of their better products out there. Definitely tough. Part support is pretty good, especially if you're in the United States. And by far, I would say one of the tougher basher vehicles out there. So I just want to bring these guys up so you guys see a size comparisons of what these vehicles looks like. And once again, I'll do my one on top of the other. This time I think I'll put the Nero on top of my LST. Nothing against my LST, but it's just a beast of a truck. So just to so you guys get another idea, and you guys have no idea of how I have to try to get these vehicles in frame. They're so huge. But here we have the Arrma Nero with the LST. And as you can see, the LST is a beast. Here we have the Arrma Nero on top of the LST. You could just see for the size comparisons. Arrma Nero definitely squats down a little bit more than the LST, but it's just a big truck. The LST is definitely a big truck. But you can get a good idea of what the Nero looks like against the LST, guys. I got one more in my collection for you guys to see, and then we'll wrap this video up. All right, guys, I wanted to show you my last monster truck comparison. The Beast, one of my favorite monster trucks. Actually, I love to bash this truck, especially in the winter time. Take it out for a good bash. I live up here in the Northeast, so we get a good dose of snow. I like to rip out my Traxxas Summit, really get in there. As you can see, these are not the original tires. I do still have the original rims and tires that came with this vehicle. These are the Proline Big Joe 2s. I had actually ran these on my T-Max for a while and was thinking about changing it up on my Summit. And I think the look is going to look really good with the Big Joe 2s on my Summit as opposed to on my T-Max. You'll definitely see the new body that I'm planning on doing up for the Summit here. But definitely want to show you guys the comparisons between the Summit here and the Arrma Nero. Both of them, they share similarities in some of their suspension, and also with the innovation of the locking differentials. As you guys know, Traxxas with the Summit was one of the first vehicles with the remote locking differentials on their vehicle. You were able to lock the front, the rear, and all, similar as they have with here in the Arrma Nero. Some similarities in the remote locking of the differentials. But I think where Arrma has definitely stepped it up is that the speeds of the vehicles, this one I think somewhere in the ballpark of 20-30 miles per hour, the way it's built out. I don't know if I would chance the locking differentials on the Traxxas Summit, pushing the speeds that the Arrma Nero is capable of doing, which is more so in that 40, 50, 60 miles per hour that they're talking about with the Arrma Nero. But definitely wanted to give you guys a quick idea of what the two vehicles look like side by side, just so you guys have that comparison. So you're looking at either one of these two vehicles and you're saying, you know what, got myself a Summit, or possibly looking at a Summit, saw the two locking differentials, what's the difference between the two? Here you go. Here's two vehicles. Technologies are fairly the same in regards to the remote locking differentials and lay down shocks. And just the speeds of these two vehicles is completely different. but nothing. I love the vehicle. As I said, it's my favorite vehicle to pick up once there's a good dosing of snow on the ground to really kick it up and take it out there. Don't really trust too many of my other vehicles to do that as much as I trust my Summit to do it. My Summit, it's as they say, waterproof, but I consider it more so water resistant. I've taken this thing out and clogged the whole inside with snow, and every year it comes back and is able to take a good bashing of what I'm able to dose out to it. But let me raise these two up so you guys see once again what the two vehicles look like against each other, and then I'll put the Summit on top of the Nero so you can get a good idea of what they look like. Two huge monster trucks. These are big monster trucks. Definitely would not put them in the hands of a kid. The one great thing that I will say about the Traxxas Summit, it does come with a light package, which is not available on the Arrma Nero. You're definitely going to have to do some modifications to get light going on in there if that's your thing with light. One thing I do like about my Summit is that in the nighttime in the snow, very fun to bash. I have light here on this vehicle. It automatically, well, it's sold with the lights here on the crash bar, 2 more here, 4 more in the rear. There's an optional light bar kit that you can get, which I've installed. I have lights up here, and then I have more LEDs since I really love the green on this vehicle. As you see when I turn it too, I got greens on the hexes. I also have green LEDs that light up underneath. Maybe I'll do a video on this vehicle. You guys let me know if that's something you want to see. Is see a video on the old Traxxas Summit. I know they've been done a lot of them out there, but you know, just wanted you guys to see what I've got going on here. Nothing really crazy, to be quite honest. Pretty much as I said, I kept it stock. I'm looking to do something with the body, and you guys are going to see what I do there on that. Really cool body job I'm going to do with this. It's going to be nice. But let's get back to you guys seeing what these two look like on top of each other, so you get a good idea of what the Arrma Nero looks like compared to some of the other vehicles that have been out there for a while. This Arrma Nero is really heavy. It's got some girth, it's got some weight to it. It is definitely a heavy truck. And for the speeds that I've seen a lot of you YouTubers out there doing, this thing has got to be sick. Because I'm telling you, the weight of it as I'm trying to move it around here on the table is definitely more than my T-Max, my LST, and now my Summit. Definitely a big 1/8 scale. So as I said, here I got the Summit with those green hubs as I was telling you guys. And let me zoom in on that so you guys have a good idea. Bring that in a little bit. The green hubs, as I said, I love the green scheme on this truck. It was beautiful. I know they have a limited edition Kawasaki one, which at the time when I bought this was a very hard find. I've had this truck now for somewhere about, about 6 years, somewhere around that ballpark. But definitely wonderful monster truck. I'm panning that back out so you guys see the two. Size comparisons are right dead on. A lot of this is the big shell that's on the Summit here. Beautiful monster trucks, as I said. A very wonderful class to get if you're getting into RC and you're looking for something that you could just take around and bash it anywhere. I would definitely say let a monster truck be your first truck. Even with my son, when it was his first truck, even though it was a 1/18 scale Teton, we went with the monster truck, something he could just take out, take everywhere, bash the hell out of it, have some real fun with it. Because when you start to get to on-road cars, it gets a little hard trying to find nice, clean places to run them. Or if you have something that, you have surfaces that are not ideal, high grass, things like that, even though you're not supposed to be running your RCs in high grass, monster trucks for the most part, especially 1/8 scale monster trucks, 1/10 scale monster trucks can kind of handle that. Just the way they sit, the way the big tires that are on there, they more times than not than having like a short course truck or having a rally car or having a touring car can definitely handle the more different terrains to drive on. So if you're getting into RC, I would definitely say you may want to do a monster truck. But that's it, guys. As I said, Ready Set RC here. Just wanted to give you guys the comparisons of all the vehicles that I have, so you could see what my my monster truck collection kind of all stacks up to my new one here, my Arrma Nero. So you guys get a good size comparisons. And maybe you're like me, you were trying to look and see what the Arrma Nero, how it looks, what's the size. You hear a lot of people saying that they're big trucks, but you never see other people with other videos kind of comparing them to other cars that are already out on the market. Here you have on my videos, you see the comparisons between the two, kind of, or 3 other vehicles, and just trying to give an idea of what the size is that everyone's talking about, what the technology is like on the other ones. As I said, you're familiar, a lot of people are familiar with the LST, they're familiar with the Summit, they're familiar with the T-Max, slowly getting themselves more familiar with the Arrma Nero. Definitely, I would say Arrma out there has some of the coolest basher vehicles. This is now my, probably my 3rd Arrma vehicle out there. I started off with the Raider when it first came out. Then I went ahead and got myself a Typhon, which I have not ran yet. I've had that for probably close to a year and still haven't ran it, just I haven't had the time. And then now my Arrma Nero. Was always looking at their monster truck line when they came out with the Creighton, was willing to pull the trigger on the Creighton at one point, and then they released the Nero, and the Nero is by far one big beast. Who knows, maybe the Creighton's in my future, but for right now, I'm gonna run this Nero and see what this is all about. Once again, guys, as I said, thanks for coming out, seeing some of my cars here, or my trucks here, at Ready Set RC. Looking forward to showing you guys how these trucks are when they bash against each other. Definitely more videos to come. This is Ready Set RC, out.